Greetings. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Spotlight. It is no secret that a performing arts production relies on a combination of the talent on stage and behind the curtain. Tonight, we pay attention to the two individuals who play a key role in the realization of a live production, a sound engineer and a production manager. For almost 15 years, our guests have worked together as members of a dedicated team that makes Pregones Puerto Rican Traveling Theater Productions possible. Jessica Moya is the production manager of Pregones PRTT. Born in Peru and based in New York, Jessica has played various technical roles over the past 15 years here at home. When on tour across the country, she works with local production teams, leading to successful performances in each city. Working with the creative team at our two theaters, she has most recently added the production management of this Spotlight series to her expanding career. Milton Ruiz is a Puerto Rican-born sound engineer and musician, also based in New York City, with broad experience in the audio and music industries, with a focus on live sound reinforcement, recordings, and mixing of live performances. WNYC New York Public Radio, Joe's Pub, Sony Hall, and Pregones PRTT are just some of the spaces in which Milton has worked his magic. Join us as Jessica and Milton speak about their professional journeys, especially in the Marches Music series, and as ensemble members of Pregones PRTT and beyond. Enjoy.
Mi nombre es Jessica Moya, soy del Callao, Perú, y soy la gerente de producción del Teatro Pregones y del Teatro Rodante Puertorriqueño.
My name is Milton Ruiz. I was born and raised in San Juan, Puerto Rico. I'm also a musician. I play mostly guitar, my favorite being electric guitar. First time I realized that I wanted to be an artist, musician, or a performer was I was in between 4th and 5th grade, and my older brother and his friends, they rented video, VHS, remember a video cassette, of Woodstock, the documentary. And I saw The Who. I saw Pete Townsend playing. They were doing a lot of songs from their concept album, Tommy. And just the energy of the music. And he just doing like these big windmills. And also, you know, they destroyed their instruments. So, of course, you know, when I was 12, I was like, oh, that looks like fun. Also because I started running around the house with a tennis racket, like imitating that. In the mid-90s, I had been living and working in Puerto Rico for a couple of years, but I felt I wanted to formalize my studies. I went back to college when I was 23, and I did a bachelor's in music. I was a music major in performance, but my emphasis was sound recording technology, SRT. So I got to do both. As the semesters progressed, the study, it got more complex. Like, they started us in the most basic studio, like with 4-track, the oldest tape machines. Then the next semester, you moved up to the next room, which was 8-track. And since you're in the music building, you know, everybody's musician, you always had people to record, and you could practice, you could hone your skills, train your ears, which was very challenging. There was a class that everybody has to go through that was taught by the director of the program. It's called APTS, the Oral Perception of Timbre and Space, which is basically critical listening. We would have to analyze sound recordings from this whole different perspective, but that required like repeated listening. And if you're not into, like, this could drive you, you know, close to insanity. Like, you know, we're talking about not just hundreds of times. You might listen to it like many hundreds of times, like little passages, like analyzing every little sound. And then, like, after you heard it 600 times, all of a sudden you hear this little tambourine that you never heard. And it drives you crazy because that's the only thing that's going to stick out after that. Some of those pieces to this day, like, they still trigger memories. It's like, oh, yeah. But I wouldn't change any of it. I've made great friendships, and I learned a lot of stuff I might not have learned otherwise.
La primera vez que me di cuenta que quería ser artista fue en la universidad y fue de casualidad. Entré a la universidad pensando que iba a seguir la carrera de arquitectura. Las cosas no se dieron como yo creía. Me di cuenta que la arquitectura no era para mí, no era algo que yo lo veía en un futuro para mí. Cogí una clase de speech con uno de mis profesores, David Willinger, y él me dijo si quería hacer un extra credit ayudándolo en una producción. El primer trabajo que yo hice en teatro fue como una spotlight operator. No estaba debajo del escenario con los actores, con nada. Yo estaba en el Aaron Davis Hall en City College, creo que era la parte más arriba del teatro, se puede decir, y yo estaba sola. Pero en ese momento fue que verdaderamente me di cuenta como que, wow, yo quiero estar en este ambiente. Me gusta la dinámica que está pasando en ese escenario, me gusta que todos se hablen, que todos se escuchen. Y eso es lo que a mí de verdad se me entró y dije, bueno, voy a meterme más a fondo en esto a ver qué tal. Me gradué del City College con el título de teatro, pero en realidad yo fui una de las primeras personas que me gradué de teatro técnico. Todo lo que envuelve el detrás de los bastidores, luces, un poco de sonido, escenografía, vestuario, de todo un poco. Entonces de ahí fue cuando yo comienzo mi carrera en el teatro. Llegué a Pregones gracias a Jorge Merced. Nos conocimos en City College. Jorge estaba por graduarse igual como yo. Nos hicimos amigos y él me comentó que si quería venir a ayudarlo en una producción, y fue el proyecto Asunción. Y trabajé con Jorge, luego trabajé con Alban, y ya poco a poco comencé a conocer más a todas las personas del equipo, y hasta el día de hoy estoy aquí.
Throughout the years of the Marches Music series, I've had many favorites, but two that stand out are Alfonso Fuentes and Underground System. Alfonso Fuentes is a master musician. He's from Puerto Rico. He's a pianist. We've had many amazing and very talented pianists come through, but it seems like Alfonso has reached a point of mastery on the instrument where he's wondering, what else can I do with the piano other than just sit there and play the keys? So when he came in that day for his concert, he requested a 6-foot stepladder and a sandbag. Like, okay. So in the middle of the concert, he walks off stage and brings out the ladder. He sets it up in front of the piano. He puts the sandbag on the sustain pedal. He climbs up on the ladder, and he had a bag that was full of ping pong balls. And he just starts dropping them onto the piano. And so basically that's what determined the piece, was how randomly they bounced around the strings. And that was, I think, in 2014. And to this day, that's, of all the piano performances, that's what I remember the most.
De todos los conciertos que yo he trabajado en Marches Music, dos que se me vienen a la mente son Montango y Los Pleneros de la 21.
Diga que me quiera. Otra más que
Cuando íbamos a presentar a Montango, sabía que era de tango, obviamente, el nombre lo dice, pero no sabía la otra parte, que era una fusión entre el compositor Monk con el tango.
los cantos de Quintana. El día que me quiera, endulzará la vida, se endulzará el amor. La noche que me quiera, desde el azul del cielo, las estrellas.
Fue una experiencia linda, o sea, todo cayó como tenía que caer. Cayeron las luces, cayeron el sonido, lo que queríamos resaltar de eso salió. Muy aparte de eso, yo también tengo una fracción muy linda con eso, porque recuerdo cuando era niña, cuando tenía 7, 8 años, en la casa de mis bisabuelos en Perú, mis tíos se reunían y bailaban tango. Entonces eso es como que siempre ha estado en mi memoria, por eso esa pregunta fue la primera que dije, Montango.
Another surprise was a band out of Brooklyn called the Underground System. There's a 10-piece band that came out of Brooklyn out of their love for Fela Kuti and Afrobeat. We've never had Afrobeat music here. And obviously they put their spin on it. They added, electronics and synthesizers and little things. One of the things I loved about the lineup of the band was that half the members were women, 5 and 5. So the whole front line of the group downstage were women. They were the ones leading things. They covered keyboards, chequere, the horns, and all the vocals. And the men in the band were in the back in the supporting role, just holding down the rhythm section, just doing their thing, just chilling, but very solid. They're fronted by a friend of mine named Domenica Fossati, who's a powerhouse, just a ball of energy on stage. And she's the lead vocals. She also plays the flute. And when she's not singing or playing, she's constantly running around the stage dancing. And it's probably also because she's a Zumba instructor. She's got energy to burn. The great thing was that by the end of the show, they had it turned into a dance party. Everybody was up on their feet, dancing and moving, and it was just really great experience. From a sound engineer standpoint, it was hard work, but it was worth it. All the sweat.
Cuando presentamos a los pleneros de la 21 me di cuenta realmente esto es Puerto Rico, esto es Pregones, esto es la música que los mueve a ellos, esto es lo que hace que ellos se muevan en el escenario. Me alegra decirlo que hasta el día de hoy seguimos trabajando con Juango, trabajo con Julia, trabajo con muchos de los músicos de los pleneros, inclusive han grabado discos también aquí, han grabado ahora último la parranda navideña de este año virtual y que lo pasamos y fue una experiencia hermosa.
Oigan mi cantar, oiganlo ustedes, voy a aconsejar a las mujeres.
Todas las personas pueden decir que son wow. Wow, wow. Y la interacción que siempre hay entre el público con ellos los invitan a bailar, la gente viene. Es algo que a mí me tiene un poco nerviosa por medidas de seguridad, pero eso es lo que a la gente le gusta. You can't go wrong with them.
I really do feel that the level of integrity in the work, also in the sense of community with front of house and just everybody involved in the Pregones family, makes people feel happy and makes people leave the theater feeling lifted.
It speaks to our current moment here in the world where people need to escape, and I love that this theater provides inspiration and a reminder of our beautiful culture. I feel that it is a place, a sanctuary for artists, Puerto Rican artists, to develop their craft, develop themselves as people, and it provides that for not only Puerto Ricans here in New York City and abroad, but also it provides that for other Latino artists and also artists from the LGBTQ+ community.
We are so proud to be recognized as one of the leading Latinx theater ensembles in the nation. And we're home to more than 20 artists ranging from choreographers, actors, designers, playwrights, who continue to share their stories and their talent on our stages, both in the Bronx and in Manhattan. The support of our donors not only helps to keep the legacy, that Miriam Colon set forth here at Pregones Puerto Rican Traveling Theater, but also impacts artists, for instance, in Puerto Rico, where we have been able to institute grants, emergency grants, to artists that were affected by Hurricane Maria, and now most recently by artists who were also affected by the earthquakes in Puerto Rico. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being part of our family.
For me, Pregones is so many things. It's been a blessing. It's been one of my favorite, if not my favorite, work experience. This might sound weird. Like I feel respected like an equal. Like from the very beginning, even the first summer tour I did, where I was like just like flying by the seat of the pants, so to speak. I was like, okay, but they always trusted me, and I really appreciate that. Especially like I've worked as freelance a lot. I've worked in a lot of venues, a lot of different places, and it's made me appreciate the chemistry here between everybody. Like Jorge, Rosalba, Alban, everybody, they've always been very supportive. I've been a part of so many great productions, not just Marches Music, but there's so many theater pieces I've been part of. There's a lot of times I'm back in the back of the room behind the board, and there'll be a certain moment or something in the show where you just like the audience and the performance, everybody's just like totally locked in, and I'll start laughing to myself because I'm getting paid for this. This is amazing.
Para mí, Pregones es mi casa, porque aquí está la extensión de mi familia. Tengo muchos años trabajando aquí en esta compañía. Estoy eternamente agradecida a todos por darme su apoyo, por darme su confianza, y tuve la gran suerte de caer aquí. Y es eso, Pregones es un lugar que yo puedo venir, todo el mundo puede decir su opinión, nunca nadie se está mal, ni nunca nadie va a venir y te va a decir, mira, tienes que hacer esto así. No, tienes la libertad de desarrollarte tú como persona y tú como profesional. Y me alegra decirlo con mucho orgullo que Alban ha sido la persona que a mí me ha empujado a ser como yo soy ahora. Trabajé bajo la tutoría de él por muchísimos años y lo sigo siendo. Y él ha sido esa persona instrumental en mi formación profesional.
The best part of working with Jessica, or as we affectionately call her, Hega, is it's everything. Like, she's so easygoing. She's very confident. Like, she knows every light in this room, which, makes it a pleasure to work with. You know that's one thing you don't have to worry about. Like, Jessica's here, we're going to get through it.
Milton Ruiz es nuestro ingeniero de sonido por muchos años. Está encargado de la serie de Marches Music y también de las producciones grandes que tenemos en el teatro. Empezamos haciendo los Summer Tours y, él llegó y yo le decía, mira, hay que hacer esto, hay que hacer lo otro, y él bien cool, bien chévere. O sea, no hay como otras personas que, que a mí no me digan eso, no. No, él siempre ha estado apto a escuchar y aprender y hacer lo que realmente se tiene que hacer para que esto salga bien, como una producción salga bien. Cuando estamos trabajando juntos, yo estoy siempre detrás de él, yo estoy en la cabina, él está delante en la casa. A veces hay momentos de que tiene 1000 cosas pasando, como mencioné antes, cuando tiene mucha gente en el escenario, y lo veo a él, esto es lo único que veo, que no sabe de dónde ir, pero sabe lo que está haciendo, pero a la misma vez es algo que tiene que él estar concentrado todo el tiempo. Y lo hace. O sea, lo hace porque a veces vienen y le dicen cosas, mira que no se escucha, mira que no se escucha. Entonces, de una manera como que él está pendiente de todo lo que está pasando y lo logra. Y eso es lo principal, que lo logramos. Las 2 veces que yo he visto a Milton en el escenario fue con La Batutera y Los Charlatanes. Los presentamos aquí. Fue una experiencia bastante diferente, obviamente, porque no tenía mi mano derecha delante mío, sino que lo tenía aquí. Y se la gozó. yo lo podía ver. Él goza estando ahí atrás, siendo sonidista, y goza estando aquí en el escenario.
The type of concerts that are more challenging for a venue, are complex, are mostly groups that require a lot of microphones, that require a lot of sound equipment, like monitors everywhere, then a lot of inputs on the board. Two challenges I've come across many times. They kind of go hand in hand, and that is like mixing monitors and large, loud groups. What makes it challenging is that the louder the group is, like the louder the stage volume, the more I have to turn up the monitors and the speakers. And this not only causes feedback, but also compromises the sound in the house and the mix. In that, there's been times where the actual stage monitors are louder than the speakers for the front of house. And this compromises the sound quality. Also, it might not be as pleasant for the audience, because if it's that loud, they feel like they're just getting bombarded, and it's not fun. I've gone about meeting these challenges, solving these challenges, basically with two things: diplomacy and ingenuity. We both kind of have to compromise to meet halfway, and hopefully get to a point where everybody can get what they need. But it can be tricky too, because I have to remind myself that it's not about me. Like, my job is to make them sound good and give them what they need so that they can provide the best performance they can. The way they'll do that is if they feel comfortable with the sound, if they can hear what they need to hear over the rest of the noise going on.
Los conciertos que más me retaron a mí fueron obviamente los que tienen muchos artistas en el escenario. Cada concierto tiene su lado diferente. Puedes tener un músico solamente, entonces mi trabajo es iluminarlo y darle ambientación a él solamente. Cuando hablamos de más artistas y más personas en el escenario, no se hace difícil, sino que es un reto, porque tienes que saber controlarlo más. Estoy hablando en el nivel de aquí arriba, también controlar más en el nivel de abajo. Más personas vienen, hay más tránsito, entradas y salidas. Tengo que trabajar mucho con la gente que está trabajando en front of house para mantener un cierto límite, porque también tenemos un límite de personas en el escenario. Cuando hemos presentado artistas con percusión, obviamente ellos siempre traen cantidades de instrumentos, de cosas, vasos, tablas, de todo lo que puede, porque en realidad se puede hacer percusión con todo lo que esté delante de nosotros. Y eso ha sido lo más complejo, quizás se puede decir, pero se hace. Nunca se dice no. Siempre se trata de ayudar y que estén a gusto. Eso es lo principal, que estén a gusto, que el actor, la actriz, el cantante esté acá presentándose, se le trata de hacer lo más a gusto posible.
Two concerts that surprised me, or the ones that most surprised me out of so many, I say they're from my earlier years when I first started to do sound for these concerts. One was Papo Vasquez and the Pirates and Troubadours. He had this project called Oasis. And it wasn't just a big band with a whole lot of percussion and drums and horns. I think there were strings. There was a belly dancer. There was poets. There was a pirate too, sort of narrating and just running around, just doing crazy things in between the songs and stuff. And there was just so much going on, but the music was so powerful too. Yeah, it was technically challenging too, but that was a lot of fun. The audience responded to them, I'll say, very positively. Maybe for the Oasis, I'm sure like there's like the fans that like they're here for the jams or the rumba, like they want a lot of percussion and solos and stuff. They might have been a little puzzled with, you know, why is there a belly dance here in the middle of this? Like, what happened? It's like, why is the guy with an iPad standing over there? But, you know, like, at least for me, that's what made the concert, you know, was special.
A través de la trayectoria de March's Music, los conciertos que más me sorprendieron fue Flor de Toloache. Cuando Alba me dijo de la idea de traer un grupo mariachi, yo le dije, ok, lo que yo no me esperaba era que era un grupo de mujeres mariachis que son excelentes en todo el sentido de la palabra. Son ganadoras de Grammy, que tampoco no lo sabía, y la hemos presentado ya 2 veces. Obviamente estuve cargada de la iluminación y la ambientación del ambiente, de todo. En el ensayo, en el proceso de ensayo, cuando ellas vienen a ensayar, yo realmente escuchaba cada canción y cómo es que yo podía transformar lo que ellas estaban diciendo, pero darle un entorno y un ambiente diferente a cada, un poquito de matiz, de colores, de algo distinto a cada canción. Y funcionó muy bien. Una anécdota que yo tengo en la última vez de las presentaciones de ellas, siempre antes de presentar a un artista yo bajo a preguntarles si están bien, si necesitan algo. La primera vez que estuvieron aquí, ellas vinieron solas y se la pasaron de lo más bien, riéndose y todo. La segunda vez que la presentamos, y fue algo hermoso ver, yo cuando bajo a saludarlas, yo abro esa puerta y ellas estaban con sus niños dándoles de comer, la otra con la bebé en el brazo y maquillándose. O sea que no paramos no dejamos de ser madres hasta el último minuto de subir este escenario. Me incluyo yo, soy madre de 2 hijos. Fue algo muy hermoso ver eso abajo, muy hermoso. Y nos quedamos ahí hablando un buen rato. Y yo, bueno, tengo que ir a hacer el show, vamos.
What I learned about these genres was that the only limit to them is your imagination.
El arte es una de las cosas que tenemos más seguras en estos momentos. Tenemos que seguir creando porque lo necesitamos.